Alright guys, today is section 3.5. It is more solving systems of equations, but this time we have 3 variables, not 2 as you've seen in the past. So what I've got is I've got a set of notes completely and totally typed up. We're going to walk through them, and then we're going to do another example from beginning to end together. Okay? So first, it says, when given 3 equations and 3 variables, follow the example and steps below to solve for all 3 variables. So here are my 3 equations, 3 different variables, an x, a y, and a z. Step 1, it says to choose any 2 equations and eliminate 1 variable. So what I decided to do here, I can see that with, my first and second equations, I could easily get rid of the z if I multiplied this equation by 2. So that's just where I decided to start. So I just recopied them here. Multiply the second equation by 2, gives me this. So then when I go ahead and add those 2 equations together, 1x plus 4x is 5x, 3y plus 2y is 5y, your z's cancel, and it's equal to 5. Now, that answer right there, you need to highlight it, put a box around it, circle it, put a star next to it, or something, because you're going to need to come back to it. Step 2, we're going to choose 2 other equations and eliminate the same variable. Now, one of my equations is going to have to be the same, but I just need to choose a different pair. So you can see this time I chose the second and third originals because my z's will automatically cancel. So here I've just recopied them. I'm just going to add the 2 equations. 2x plus 1x is 3x. 1y plus 1y is 2y. Your z's will cancel, and 2 plus 2 is 4. This is another equation that you need to circle, put a box around, highlight it, or something, because you're going to need it in the next step. Okay. These 2 equations that we found, that we have highlighted or circled, we're going to use those in step 3. Those are our 2 new equations. If we copy those down, this is an elimination problem like you have seen before. I can take these 2 equations and solve for x and for y. So that's what we're going to do. I decided I want to get rid of the y's, so I'm going to multiply the top equation by 2. Will give me this. The bottom equation I'll multiply by -5 to give me this. That way I have a positive 10y and a negative 10y. When I add those 2 equations together, 10x plus a negative 15x gives me negative 5x. My y's will cancel, and 10 plus negative 20 is negative 10. And then I can easily solve for x. So here, x equals 2, that is part of my answer. In step 4, I'm going to take one of these 2 new equations, plug 2 in for x, so that I can solve for y. Okay, we'll see that on my next sheet here. So I decided to take this new equation and take out the x and put a 2 in its place. So that gives me 3 times 2 gives me 6. Bring everything else down, and then you can solve for y pretty quick and easy. Subtract 6 from both sides, leaves me with 2y equals -2. Divide both sides by 2, and y equals -1. Okay? So at this point, I have x equals 2, y equals -1. The only thing I have left to solve for is z. So we're going to use the 2 values that we've just solved for, the ones we just found, the x and the y, substitute those into one of the original equations to solve for z. So I chose this original equation. I plug in a 2 for x, a -1 for y, And that is a plus z. I don't know quite what happened with my formatting here, but it's a little bit different. So when I combine my like terms, 2 plus negative 1 is 1, plus z equals 2. Go ahead, subtract 1 from both sides, and z is 1. So then you're going to write your answer as an ordered triple, because there's 3 answers. It's not an ordered pair, it's an ordered triple. And you're going to do this alphabetically just like your ordered pairs were. So I'm going to put my x value first, then the y value, and then the z value. Okay. In your textbook on page 167, there's another example there if you want to look at it and see another one worked out. But we're getting ready to do one together from beginning to end. And actually, I will pick that up in the next video. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one.